I have been in church ministry for now 3 decades. 3 decades of serving and giving my life to build church. 3 decades of observing and growing and learning. 3 decades of seeing the good, the bad, and the ugly that happens when we gather as church. 3 decades of watching people come and watching people go. And I guess I've just been a season of my life where I've kind of tried to sit back and observe and take stock of some things that I have learned over those 3 decades. I guess I'm getting into the territory of the wise old lady, and I'm realizing I now have some things to pass along that I have learned in my 50 years of life. And so today I want to speak to you about one of those observations. I was thinking about things that the church has done well and the church has done not so well. I was thinking about things that we've really helped people with, and in some other areas we've not really given much verbiage to. And today I want to speak to you in the room who say, I'm not broken. And I want to ask you, yeah, you might not be broken, but maybe, just maybe, you're out of order. Today I want to talk to you about where your life is out of order, where your marriage is out of order, where your spiritual world is out of order, where your finances are out of order. Because a lot of times we can go through life and we are functioning, but we are not flourishing. If I was to illustrate, to bring this home today, it's like me saying this jacket is your life. This represents your money and your marriage and your children and your thoughts and the things you spend your time doing. This is your life, and every day we put our life on. We go about our day and we all have the same amount of hours in a day, and we go about doing our life. But the best way I can describe some of your life is that every day when you do your life, it looks like this. It's right, but it's wrong. It's kind of working, but it's kind of not. And if I was to walk into this building today wearing my jacket this way, I would hope that someone in the room would pull me to one side and say, hey, just so that you know, your buttons are out of order. I hope someone would see that this is embarrassing and would help me by pointing out what I clearly have missed. And no matter how much I pray about it, no matter how much I intercede about it, no matter how much I talk about it, until I do something, until I actually do something, this is not going to come right. And some of you are talking about it, and you're discussing it, and you're even praying about it, and God's like, I don't need you to pray about this anymore. I just need to put your life back in order where you know it is out of order. I need you to do the work to get the top button right in your life, to get the priorities right in your life. If your top button is success, stress is guaranteed. If your top button is finances, then you'll never get off the treadmill that life presents to you. If your top button is popularity, you will always be a people pleaser. And so some of these things that we've given this space to are creating in our life chaos that God has not called us to. And so today I want to help you undo the wrong button so you can put the right button at the top, so that your marriage, your family, your life, relationally, emotionally, spiritually can get this right. And this is where God began to teach me the first button that I have committed to in my life. You have to understand that it always must be mission over position. You want a top button? The top button is mission over position. Because if you fall in love with position, then the battle will always be lost. If you make it about you and your role and your title and your seat, then we will lose the bigger battle that we are all called and assigned to fight. And so Aaron and Hur, their job was when his arms got tired, literally they just had to hold his arms. That was it. Is that we have got people to forget the importance of this because this doesn't look very important. Joshua looks important. Moses looks important, but this doesn't look important. So we say to ourselves, well, you know what? There's a position over here in this company. Oh, there's a position over here in this church, and I think if I take that position, I'll be higher up on the buttons, as it were, in my life, in my career, in the things God has for me. And so we start chasing positions, not realizing that in chasing this, we've just dropped this. The second button that I found must always be in the right place in my life is that our motivation has to be so much greater than our expectation. I know that sounds weird because in the church we talk all the time, don't we, about having great expectations and believing for more and expecting the best, and that has its place. But if expectation is driving you, where motivation is not leading you, you will move your service from sacrificial to transactional. Look at the story of the prodigal. The father's arms were open even though the son had squandered the inheritance, treated the father terribly, turned his back on him, ran away. But the father's response was not based on expectation. It was based on motivation. And before the boy could even come back, the father is running towards him because he's like, I'm not doing this because you expect me to or you deserve it. I'm doing this because my motivation is set. Some of you don't keep friendships for very long because friends don't meet your expectations. Don't stay in communities for very long because they don't meet your expectations. When did it all become about you? One of the last things that I want to commend to you, if we're going to get our life back in order, we've got to get the mission more important than our position. We've got to get our motivation greater than our expectation. And finally, we've got to start putting legacy over temporary. Please, hear me. Please don't shrink this house to your level of expectation. Please don't shrink your giving to, well, what's in it for me? Please don't shrink your attendance to, well, I'm not sure I feel it. I want to say to everyone online, maybe you're not here today because work has got you somewhere else, but maybe you're not here today because simply you've just decided, I'm just going to be temporary about the house of God. Listen, the house of God is not perfect, but I know that I have to give my life to build what He said to build. And you are part of the answer. You're not part of the problem. And so maybe you need to get out your PJs. Maybe you just shake off your offense. Maybe to get over yourself and realize, man, I'm going to stand before God one day and He's not going to ask me about what I have. He's going to ask me about what I did.